DC News Now's Mark Hall shares the story of a military veteran who wanted to serve in the sky, but segregation on the ground made it nearly impossible.
To get on that bus and have to sit in the back of the bus and look out at my parents crying because they knew I had to go sit in the back of that bus to go to Camp Lee
to serve your country.
To serve my country.
96-year-old William Fauntleroy Jr., a D.C. native, was assigned to the Tuskegee Airmen airfield in July of 1944 as a flight cadet.
I was 19 years old. 19 years old, as a teenager, could fly an airplane, couldn't drive a car. Didn't know how to drive a car. I didn't get my driver's license until I was 20.
Fauntleroy says serving his country was an honor, but it was a constant struggle for black pilots who always had to prove themselves. But things changed for the Tuskegee Airmen when First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt flew on a plane with them.
Well, Mrs. Roosevelt had to fly with one of our instructors, the chief instructor, Chief Anderson, who was a civilian, to prove that Negroes could fly. And when she came down, she said, they can fly. And of course, she had the influence over the President, Roosevelt. And of course, that's what at least got us into the war. You know, before, nobody wanted us.
Fauntleroy went through several months of flight training. Flying a plane was not a problem, but he was young and had a lot to learn about life. Other members of the Tuskegee Airmen played a key role in his growth and development.
If it wasn't for Ashford, there wouldn't be no Bill Fauntleroy at Tuskegee Airmen, very frankly, because he helped me, he taught me algebra that I didn't have, and he taught me how to be, he and John Curry taught me how to be soldiers, and without their help, I couldn't have done it. I wouldn't have known how to make a bed. How do I know how to make a bed, military bed? Those guys that were in front of me reached back and said, here, Billy, I'm gonna help you. And just because of what they taught me, I reached back.
Fauntleroy was ready to go overseas and fight, but things took an unexpected turn and he was faced with a life-changing decision.
The war ended while we were in training. We had just completed the basic flying, and the war ended, and they gave us an option. Either you stay in for 2 years and finish your training, or you get discharged. I decided that I needed to be discharged because I hadn't finished high school. And they weren't going to, even if I finished, they weren't going to keep me.
In 1961, he became the first black civil engineer hired by the National Capital Transportation Agency. Fauntleroy's list of accomplishments are long, including working as a consultant for WMATA until the late 90s. But he says nothing compares to his time with the Tuskegee Airmen.
I'm proud. God has blessed me to be a Tuskegee Airman. And it gave me an opportunity to meet people who I had no idea were available in the world from other places.